Hi, this is Buck Dharma of Blue Öyster Cult, and you're listening to Sidewalks Entertainment and watching it too because it's video as well.
Hi, this is Richard, and coming up on this special edition, we have an exclusive interview with one of the founding members of the band Blue Öyster Cult. He is here to talk about the success of this rock band. Lead guitarist and vocalist Buck Dharma joins us next on Sidewalks Entertainment.
Our guest today is a musical icon and legendary guitar player. He's a founding member of the rock band Blue Öyster Cult. I'd like to welcome Buck Dharma to Sidewalks Entertainment. Hey, Buck,
Hello.
It's so great to have you with us today.
Hi, Cindy. Thank you, and glad to be here.
Well, now, Buck Dharma, I'll do that in air quotes, is actually a stage name that you use. How did that name come about?
My real name is Don Roser, and I still sign checks that way. And my wife usually calls me Don, although she will call me Buck. And it's when we were starting out, there was a thought about everybody taking a pseudonym, instead of our given names. And of the choices, I was the only fellow that liked my name, Buck Dharma, and it's been great to have an alter ego. It's it's definitely come in handy, and it's kind of like it's a novelty for me to be able to switch hats.
I can imagine. I think it gives a little
Yeah.
flexibility to your career, too. You can kind of be one or the other.
I also wanted both names on the record covers so that the kids I went to high school with would know that I was a rock star.
I love it. It's like, I made it.
Yeah, well,
Now,
look at me. Yeah.
for sure, right? Well, I believe your father was a jazz saxophone player, if I'm not mistaken. Do you think
Yes.
music has always kind of been in the blood?
I got a good grounding for sure. Yeah. My dad was a weekend warrior. He played club dates and weddings and stuff throughout my youth. And he played up into his 90s. He's passed away now, but he was 95 and he played well into his 90s before he stopped.
Once a musician is always a
Yeah.
musician, for sure. Well, you're known for your guitar playing, but didn't you also start out as a drummer?
Yes, initially, actually, I started out on accordion when I was 9 years old.
Wow.
Um, my folks got me an accordion. I thought it would be something that I could do, being a relatively tiny person. And I took lessons for about a year, but I didn't like seeing myself behind an accordion, so I never got out of the key of C. And then I studied drums later when I was about 15 and took lessons there. And then I broke my wrist playing street basketball. And
Oh, no.
while the cast was on, I didn't play drums, but my brother Brian had a Stella acoustic guitar he'd gotten for Christmas, and I started playing that, usually just up and down the neck on the thin string, one at a time. And I sort of never looked back. I knew a drummer I was in a surf band in high school, and I knew a drummer that was better than me. So I started playing electric guitar, and again, never looked back from that.
Well, the fans are absolutely devoted to you and to Blue Öyster Cult. I know I went out and I asked for some fan questions, and I was sort of reading online some of the fan groups, and it was just such a wonderful peek into kind of just how dedicated they all are. They've described you as a true American musical treasure, the most underrated guitarist of our time. But my favorite comment was this one, and it was like a little small story that was told, but I have to share it with you because it's so great. This is what he wrote. It was late summer 1993 in Southern California, driving home after an epic surf sesh in my 71 baby blue VW Bug and high on life. Fear the Reaper came on the radio. That song carried that moment in time. Can't remember a single wave I rode that day, but I remember that. How does it make you feel to sort of hear that? Like you made a moment for this guy.
Yeah, I'm gratified actually that to see how that song among all the band's music and my music has just rippled out into the culture. You know, it's a good feeling and one that I'm just grateful to have and to carry.
Well, Blue Oyster Cult was actually formed in 1967, and you are the sole constant member. It must feel a little like yesterday. How do you explain the continued success of this group besides all the great music that came out of this band?
It's surprising actually. I never thought it would. You know, my initial idea was that the band would make maybe 2 or 3 albums and then we'd stop and we'd and do something else for a living. But of course, years melded into decades, and now it's 52 years we've been doing it, and we're still here. Eric Bloom and I from the original band, you know, and the current guys have been in the band longer than the original guys. So
Wow. Well, it's definitely a tight group for sure.
yeah.
You wrote and performed many of Blue Oyster Cult songs. Are there a couple of personal favorites?
Uh, I don't think of it that way because the band has such a deep catalog. I mean, obviously the hits we play every night, but we rotate the other songs on a fairly regular basis. But sometimes we'll go really deep and play something we hadn't played in years and years. But um, to me, it's the material is so good that you never get tired of it, you know, you never get bored with it. Even the Reaper and Burning for You and Godzilla, which we play every night, you know, it's continue to entertain me. We don't play the songs exactly like the record, you know, we do a lot of improvisation around the core arrangement, and so we keep it fresh for ourselves.
Well, earlier in this interview, I mentioned your hit Fear the Reaper, and I couldn't do an interview with you without asking about the famous Saturday Night Live skit. Of course, the
Yeah.
skit featured the SNL cast playing members of VOC in a recording session. And during the practice, Will Ferrell is shown playing the cowbell, and the record producer, played by Christopher Walken, wanted more cowbell.
Mm,
First of all, did you have any idea ahead of time that SNL was going to be doing this skit? And what did you think of
no.
it?
Not at all. In fact, I saw about the last 20 seconds of it because my wife's mom called her up. She was watching SNL at the time and said, "You got to turn this on." And of course, I saw the tail end of it, and I got to see it not too long after that.
Yeah. Well, I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, it is super popular. And one of the fan questions that had been submitted to me was specifically about this. So thanks for responding to that. Blue Oyster Cult is still touring. How many times a year do you guys have dates, and what's an average schedule for you?
We are winding down from our 50th anniversary in 22. We did 75 shows that year. And this year and last year we're doing about 30. So we're definitely taking it a lot easier than we did, you know. And looking forward, we'd probably commit to some 2025, but I don't know what's in store for us. You know, we only do it because we like it, and I don't know how much longer we'll be doing it.
Well, as you look back on your career, both from the early days and through today, would you change anything? And my question kind of originates from the idea of, the success that you've earned. And does it change how you feel about playing music because of it being so successful?
Yeah, I think, when we started having hits and selling large number of records, one good thing about Columbia Record Company in the day is that they stuck with us when we made the first 3 LPs. They weren't huge sellers. The first one sold about 100,000 copies. It's in the first year, and they re-upped and let us make another one. That was Tyranny Mutation. That sold about 200,000, and then Cicatriti is about 300,000. We're touring, working really hard, trying to promote ourselves, and we didn't have a gold record until On Your Feet Around Your Knees, our live record, first live record, and then of course Agents of Fortune had the Reaper on it, and Spectres had Godzilla, and then Burning for You was Fire of Unknown Origin. So it's good that the record company stuck with us. I don't think they do that now. Record companies, if you don't make a smash right away, you know, you're gone. So
yeah. Well, we are out of time, but that was just wonderful to have you with us today on Sidewalks. We appreciate you so much. Thanks for being with us.
Okay, Cindy. All right, thank you.
For more full-length celebrity interviews, visit us at sidewalkstv.com, our YouTube channel, and don't forget to follow us on social media.